there. Welcome to Limitless Business Online. I'm Tracy. Let me start with this. If your business feels off right now, like you're working, you're doing all the things, but it's not really moving forward the way you expected, there's a really good chance you're not dealing with the real problem. You're dealing with a symptom. And that's why what you're trying isn't working. Because when you fix the wrong problem in your business, you can do everything right and still get the wrong result. So today, I want to help you figure out how to actually identify what's not working and what to do instead. And honestly, this whole idea hit me in a really unexpected way. I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but I promise it does actually have a point, and it will help to answer the question about fixing the right problems in your business. But really quickly, for any new listeners, I want to say hello and welcome to Limitless Business Online. I'm Tracy, your online business strategist and coach. I help entrepreneurs get out of overwhelm and manage doubt to find clear direction so they can achieve their goals and reach their dreams in their online businesses and have the life they want. I usually work with course creators, coaches, service providers who run their businesses online, which is a place of massive distraction. So I help them stay focused, moving forward toward their goals, and I become a steady support they can't live without to grow their online business with confidence, clarity, and more ease. I've been in the online business space since 2012, and I absolutely love the limitless potential of the online world. When your business lives online, there are no boundaries on who you work with, where you work from, or the financial freedom you can create. All right, enough. Are y'all ready for my rant? Even though this story I'm going to share has literally nothing to do with business at all, I realized it has everything to do with finding the right support in your online business. So let me tell you what happened. A little while ago, a family member of mine was dealing with a bunch of different health issues all at the same time. Multiple symptoms, different things going on, and we didn't know what was happening. There were symptoms that could have led to all sorts of root causes. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, and the family member is not a doctor, so we were very lost. We were stuck in a cycle of treating this symptom or that symptom at emergency rooms, no less, where they don't know all your history, but never getting to the root cause of the problems. And this went on for a long time, and we started to suspect that the root cause might actually be related to medications for several different medical issues, like how they were interacting with each other, how the medicines were interacting with each other. So what did we try to do? We tried to get them in to see a general practitioner doctor or an internist, someone who could look at everything that was happening, all the medications, everything all together. Someone who could step back and say, okay, let's look at the full picture here. And unfortunately, we couldn't get in to that general practice physician for months. In the meantime, the family member ended up in the hospital multiple times. Every time they were in the hospital, the different doctors had different theories, so they would send in different specialists, lots and lots of specialists. And each specialist did what they're trained to do. They looked at their specific area. The cardiologist looked at the heart. The pulmonologist looked at the lungs. One specialist looked at this. One specialist looked at that. One suggested something else. One referred us to another doctor. But it seemed like no one stopped to look at all the puzzle pieces together or just take a holistic overview. And I remember thinking in the middle of all that, this is really crazy. What we actually need right now is not another specialist. We need one person to take a step back, look at everything as a whole, and help us figure out what's really going on. Not just treat the symptoms, but understand the full picture. We really wanted a generalist to take a 30,000-foot overview to see how everything was going to fit together. And that's when it hit me. That's what this story has to do with you. This is exactly what I see happening in online businesses all the time. You sense a problem in your business and you try to solve it with a specialist. You hire a copywriter and they look at your copy and try to help you fix it. You hire someone to build your funnel or automations, and they get them set up and done, but that's it. Or you download a strategy idea, it tells you what to do next, but that's it. None of those things are bad. They're all very helpful. But here's the problem. When was the last time you worked with someone who would take that step back and ask, is this even the right direction in the first place? If you haven't done that in a while or ever, things might start to feel off, feel overwhelming and distracting. You feel distracted in your business because you're jumping around to all these different symptoms that you're sensing. Do you know that feeling where you're working, you're doing all the things, but not really moving forward? You're busy all day, but nothing is actually getting finished. Maybe you've tried multiple strategies and none of them are really clicking along. Maybe things feel chaotic, scattered, or unclear. And that is really frustrating because you're not unwilling to do the work, right? You're doing all the work, but something isn't quite working. And here's what I want you to hear today. Those feelings, they're not random. They are indicators, dare I say, symptoms. And this is where most people go wrong. They try to fix the symptom. They feel overwhelmed, and so they think, I need better time management. They're not making sales, so they think, I need a new funnel. They feel inconsistent, so they think, I need more motivation. But what if those aren't the real problems? What if those are just signals that something deeper isn't aligned? Because when your business isn't working the way it should, it's usually not just one thing. It's how everything is or isn't working together. Your business isn't a collection of separate parts, right? You are one whole person running your business, and the business is a system, or it should be a system. And when one part is off, it affects everything else. If your offer isn't clear, your marketing won't convert. If your systems aren't working, you won't stay consistent. If your focus is scattered, nothing gets finished. So you can keep trying to fix each piece individually, but if they're not all aligned with the greater purpose in mind, you're just going to keep feeling like something's not working, even when you're doing a lot. And this is where the difference between a specialist and a generalist really matters. A specialist is incredibly valuable when you know exactly what the root problem is. You know the direction, you know what needs to be fixed. You just need someone to execute or improve a specific piece. And that's where a specialist shines. But if you don't actually know what the real problem is, things feel off, but you can't quite pinpoint why, or you're getting different advice from several different places and nothing is really working, the root cause might be a clarity or big picture problem. Because a specialist can only go deep in one area. And if that's not the root problem area to focus on, you can end up optimizing something that was never the real issue to begin with. And that's how you end up with a beautiful funnel that doesn't convert. Wonderful, great copy for an offer that isn't resonating. Or systems built around a strategy that actually isn't working. Not because the work was bad, but because it wasn't the right place to focus. So if you want to grow your online business, which if you've listened to this far, I think you do, you have to learn how to think about the symptoms that might be making your business feel off or sick as a whole, because your offers affect your marketing. Your marketing affects your sales. Your systems affect your consistency. And your focus, it affects everything. And when those pieces aren't connected, nothing really works the way it should. You most likely don't need to do more, but to take a step back and consider everything holistically. However, this gets tough when you're inside your business every day. It's difficult to kind of see outside of what you're in every day. You lose the ability to see clearly. It's that old saying, you can't see the forest for the trees, which is really something that makes me ponder. You're reacting to what feels urgent. You're solving whatever is right in front of you. You're making decisions based on pressure and not perspective. And when you stay in that mode, you end up fixing symptoms instead of solving real problems. Just like in my doctor story I started with. Most people think they need a better strategy or a specialist in a specific area of online business, but what they actually need first is clarity. Because the wrong strategy, executed perfectly, will still give you the wrong results, or at least not the results you're looking for. And this is where so many online business owners get stuck. They're taking action, implementing things, and doing what they've been told to do by the experts, but they're not seeing the return or optimization in their business. Online business changes so fast, and the strategies have to adjust quickly too. So instead of asking, what should I do next in order to address a symptom you're experiencing, a better question might be, what's actually not working right now and why? Let me give you a few questions to think about. Here's the first one. Do I actually know what the real problem is in my business? Maybe you get out a journal and jot this question down. Do I actually know what the real problem is in my business? Or am I just reacting to what feels urgent? Question number 2. Have I been switching strategies instead of committing to one strategy long enough to see results? Let me clarify on that one. Have I been switching strategies instead of committing to one long enough to see results? If you don't have clear answers to those 2 questions, that's your signal that you need to step back and get clarity. Take a holistic view, because more effort doesn't fix misalignment. More effort usually creates more frustration. Alignment is what creates momentum. This alignment comes from asking yourself questions and looking back at your why for what you're doing. Because when the right pieces are in place, things start to work together. And that's when your business starts to feel easier, clearer, and more effective. And this is actually the kind of work I love doing. If you need a generalist, like we talked about with the doctor, instead of a specialist, I'm your girl. I'll take that step back with you, look at the full picture, and help you figure out what actually matters and what's actually causing the problems or the frustrations in your business. But even if we never get to work together, I want you to take this with you, this thought. Growth doesn't come from doing more things. It comes from doing the right things in the right order with a clear view of the whole picture, because sometimes you need a generalist instead of a specialist. Okay? All right, that's my rant for today. And if you could use help taking that 30,000-foot view of your business, I invite you to head over to limitlessbusinessonline.com, where you can schedule a free game plan call. We'll figure out your game plan for whatever is wrong in your business. At limitlessbusinessonline.com, you can also purchase an idea to impact roadmap, where we work together for 30 days to take that idea out into the world. Or you can sign up for a free Scattered to Strategic workshop. I have some dates coming up, so check out the website for the next live workshop, and I would love to see you there. I will happily step in as your generalist business doctor to take a holistic look at your business, get to the root problem of symptoms you might be experiencing, and solve them. We want your business to be strong and capable of achieving your dreams and goals for life and work. So in the next blog episode, I'll continue exploring how a generalist can support you holistically in your online business. Until then, have a great day, a great week, and stay focused. See you soon.